guys, welcome back to my channel. I have never done a TBR before, and so I figured, hey, new year, I'll do a TBR for the year of 2021. I do have a couple of classics, graphic novels, new releases in this list. The only thing is I'm trying to keep it down to 21 books, and none of these books are anything I'm going to get in the next couple weeks for sure, but at some point in the year. So here we go. Okay, these books are not in any particular order. They're just what came down on the list when I was writing it. So the first one is Concrete Rose by Angie Thomas. I really love The Hate U Give and On the Come Up, and Concrete Rose is about Maverick from The Hate U Give. This is before the story, and I'm very interested in seeing what Angie Thomas will give us. Okay, so the next book on the list is The Last Train to Key West. I am so excited for this book. I absolutely loved Next Year in Havana and When We Left Cuba. I meant to read this last year. I even pre-ordered it on Audible, but just 2020 was 2020 and it got pushed back. But I'm excited to read this. They are not direct sequels, but they all are intertwined to make one story, and I just can't wait. So the next book on the list is The Toll, the third book in the Arc of the Rise trilogy. I'm just excited to finish it. I enjoyed the first two books so much. The next book on the list is This Close to Okay. It's about two people coming together to help each other heal, and they form a unique connection. And one of them is a therapist, so I think it's going to be an interesting book. I don't really read a lot diving into divorce and things like that, so it'll be different, and I'm excited for it. The next book on the list is Warbreaker by Brandon Sanderson. I have read 6 Brandon Sanderson books last year, if you include a short story, so I guess 5 books and a short story. And Warbreaker was next on the recommended reading list on how to read into the Cosmere. So it's the next one, and I'm excited, but it is chunky. It is a little chunky, so but I'll be okay. I know the next one's technically cheating because it's 2 books, but I'm putting them in the same spot on the list. I can do it, it's my list. Children of Virtue and Vengeance. I read Children of Blood and Bone in 2018, and I really want to reread it before I read Children of Virtue and Vengeance because I do remember the main part of the story of Children of Blood and Bone, but I want that refresher. I just do. I enjoyed it, so I want to reread it, then read the second book. Next book I want to read is The Fiery Cross, which is the 5th book in the Outlander series. I meant to read this last year too. I didn't read any Outlander book in 2020. Life got in the way, and I didn't know how to suspend your holds on Libby, so now that I know how to do that, I can finally get around to The Fiery Cross because it's a chunky book. It's 1,400 pages. It's a little bit over 1,400 pages. And I really loved the first book, the third book, and the second half of the 4th book, but absolutely hated the second. So I'm a little nervous because I've heard that the first book is the strongest, and that's starting to be proven true, but I've already read over 3,000 pages into the series, and I want to keep going because I do enjoy the characters. And the next one is A Promised Land by Barack Obama. It's his first volume of his presidential memoirs. I think there's going to be 3. I could be wrong, but it's like 69 pages, somewhere on that list. And I have it on hold at the library, so whenever that comes in, it has a long waiting list, so we will see when I actually get around to reading it, but it really intrigues me, and especially since, he's the first president that I was actually adult enough to understand what was going on, and I'm just interested in reading it. The Burning God, the 3rd and final book in the Poppy War trilogy. I read the Poppy War and Dragon Republic last year, and I loved them. I want to read The Burning God so bad. I'm just waiting on it from my library, and I'm excited to see how this ends. I've seen stuff on Twitter without actual spoilers, and I'm a little nervous that I might cry too hard, but I'm excited for those tears. So the next book looks like a cute cutesy book, and I'm excited for it. Rent a Boyfriend. This is a Asian American book where she wants to impress her parents, so she hires a boyfriend from an agency that specializes in pleasing parents, and it sounds like it's gonna be like a cute, chaotic mess, so I'm up for it. The next book on the list is technically 2 books, but my main focus is More to the Story, which is a retelling of a classic book I want to read before reading the retelling. And it's a retelling of Little Women. It's 4 sisters in Georgia, and they are a Muslim American family, and it looks cute. I like the cover. It sounds interesting. And Little Women's been kind of on my list, but I never actually got around to it. So this is definitely giving me the motivation, just because I feel like I'd appreciate it more if I know the original story. And like I said, this looks really cute, and I just want to read it. The next book on the list is Pride, Prejudice, and Other Flavors. It is a retelling of Pride and Prejudice, and I'm excited to get around for it. It and Recipe for Persuasion have always caught my eye when I've seen the cover. They've been on my radar. I just haven't gotten around to it, and I'm excited to. I like Jane Austen. This sounds like a cool premise, so, I'm ready. The next book on the list is Arsenic and Adobo. I am really interested by this, which I'm usually not into mystery thrillers. I don't mind my stories having thriller aspects or being technically a thriller or having a mystery, but I usually don't go straight for mystery thrillers, but the title and the cover has won me, so it's on the list. I'm excited for it when it comes out. The next one is a graphic novel. It is Teen Titans Beast Boy Loves Raven. I read the Raven one and the Beast Boy one, liked it, so I'm just naturally excited for the third one. The art style is really cute, and I liked how the story's going, so. The next one is a series I want to get into. It is a manga series called Blood on the Tracks. Apparently some accident happens, and the family dynamics change, and the mother goes crazy. I've heard it's creepy. I believe it's finished, but it's slowly getting translated into English. I think the 5th or 6th one's supposed to be coming out in a couple of months, and my library finally got them in, so hopefully I'll get around to actually reading it. I love creepy stuff, just naturally, so I'm excited for it. Okay, so the next one on the list is definitely something I want to get around to reading, but I've got to motivate myself to read it. I know I shouldn't try to motivate myself to read anything I don't want to read, but I do want to read this. The Rise of the Magicks, which is the 3rd book in the Chronicles of the One by Nora Roberts. I read the first 2 books not knowing. I had no idea that they were abridged. They were chopped down really short, because I did the audio book, right? And I mean, I've seen the books at like Walmart, but I've never picked them up. And I accidentally read the abridged on Scribd, and I read both of the first 2 without knowing they were abridged. So when I went to the 3rd one, I was like, man, this was a lot longer. So I went on Goodreads, and I realized the other 2 were a lot longer than what I listened to. And I've been trying to decide, do I just listen to the full Rise of the Magicks, or do I just do a bridge as well? I've never had a lot of experience with a bridge versus unabridged. I always go for non-abridged. And I even thought about, what if I reread the first 2 unabridged, but I don't want to reread them? Like, I loved them, so I probably will do that one abridged, just because I don't know what was cut out, and it'd probably be more consistent because I probably based it off the other one. But that's the only one I'm like conflicted on, because I feel like weird about it. But it is what it is. Things happen. So the next one is Tentacle by Rita, Indiana. This is a dystopian based in the Dominican Republic, and I don't know, it's a short novella. I think it's like 150 to 180 pages, somewhere around that, and it just sounds interesting, and it was cheap on Kindle, so I bought it. I just got to get around to reading it. I definitely do plan to, though. The next one is New Daughters of Africa. This is available on Prime Reading, so if you have Amazon Prime, you can read this on the Kindle app for free. It is a chunky short story collection. It's between like 760 to 800 pages, somewhere in that. And I've downloaded the book, I just haven't started it. And what's cool is they separated it by like year. So like they do like the 1900s, 1910s, and so forth. And it's a bunch of different authors, different countries, different types of stories. So it has really great reviews. So I'm excited to do this. I like to keep one short story collection as I'm going through books. Like just reading one short story a day. That's something I've always done, even if I'm reading 1 or 2 books at a time. And this one's going to take me a while because of the way I read short stories, but I'm excited for it, and hopefully there are some amazing gems. The next book I want to read is Black Sun. It is based in pre-colonial Colombia, based around a celestial event, the solar eclipse. And it's supposed to be a trilogy, and it just looks really good, and the cover is so beautiful. The cover is so beautiful. The next one is We Hunt the Flame. The cover intrigues me, the synopsis intrigues me, and honestly, like, I'm just excited to read a fantasy based around like Arabian mythology, and I've heard nothing but good things about it, so I'm excited for it. And I do have it on hold at Libby. I think I have 4 or 5 weeks left, depending on, if people don't return early and stuff. So hopefully I'll get to that one soon. And there is a second book, so hopefully I'll be excited to read that one as well. The next one on the list is Ronit and Jamil. And this is basically a Romeo and Juliet, but it has to involve with the Israeli-Palestinian conflict right now. And they both live on both sides of the fence. So I'm excited to read it, and hopefully it'll be good. The cover really caught my eye, and now I got it on hold at the library as well. Okay guys, so that was 21 books, but I do want to do an honorable mention to finishing the last 3 books of The Secret of Unfortunate Events, because I read 8 last year and I got 3 left, so hopefully I'll finish that too, but they're not as high as priority as the other ones. And if there's anything you're looking forward to this year, or anything you'd like to see me talk about, mention, list, tags, let me know in the comment section below, and I will see you next time.